too fast because I missed the intro. But hello there, everybody. I will tell you, I'm super excited because I have a friend that I haven't met before in chat. Well, I met in chat, but we've never spoken before. And there's some of our people from the Kev Baker Show. Luna, my friend, my best Scorpio MC is here. Wes Please is here. And I'm going to get to know somebody that I like so much, who is always super supportive and who is on board with Team Humanity. Like if it's for the betterment of humanity, my friend Polly is all in. So I'd like to say hello, and I'd like to say welcome, and I'd like you to introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Polynation. As far as I can tell, everybody in the chat probably knows who I am.
So that's it?
Hang on 1 second. I'm just no. Hang on. I'm getting a weird.
Got some feedback?
Yeah. Hold on. I gotta change that. There we go. Okay. So yeah. Okay. How I met Algo Rhythm. Let's start with that. I actually assumed, because of your name, Algo Rhythm, that you were actually an algorithm. So how I initially started interacting with you is to try to test you to see if you were a real person.
Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. So
I would ask questions that I would think that hopefully an algorithm wouldn't know how to answer, but you would answer them. So eventually I figured out that you were actually a real person, and then it led me to your channel, and yeah, we hang out in the same chat rooms. There's more than one chat room that I've seen you into, so that's actually because I've seen you in more than one chat room. That's what gave me the original suspicion that maybe you were like it was an algorithm following me around.
Buddy, I got to tell you, that is so amazing. I love that so much.
So I was suspicious, but yeah, you answered you passed all the tests.
I passed the Turing tests. The Turing test.
Exactly.
And for those of you that don't know, there's a thing called a Turing test, is to test AI and to see if it is sentient or if it's programmed. And so that's so cool that Polynation gave me the Turing test. I feel honored.
It's kind of a paranoia thing. I don't know if you should be honored, but I mean, this is the world we live in now. I can't be sure of half the people online anymore.
Well, exactly. So do you have a YouTube channel?
I do have a YouTube channel. It's not really that active at the moment. I'm still in the process of getting sort of a direction for it, I guess you could say. I do post a lot of like music and photography so far, but what I want to do is start an actual podcast and just talk about like just anything really. Just talk about stuff with people that I know from the chats, and because I have a lot of really interesting conversations with a lot of people, and it's only been since I've started meandering around all these chat rooms with like-minded people, and I just seem to have a lot in common with these people, and a lot of the conversations, I feel like when I listen back on these conversations in my head, it would be like a good thing for other people to listen to, and hopefully people can change a perspective or get a new perspective or learn something. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at right now with my channel. I think I have like 7 videos up there right now, and it's mostly just music that I've created and photography that I've put to it.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's fantastic, because the people I know who make photography and make music are like, it's a gift you're trying to share, right?
Well, I don't even know if it's because sometimes I don't really think of it as a gift, because for somebody like me, at least, and I'm sure there's other artists out there listening that can relate to this, is if you don't create, then you will go insane. You'll get sick. And it's something that like a creator that's artistically inclined has to do it, or they won't they won't flourish. They'll wither like an unwatered plant and eventually just die out. Like, uh, so, uh, I mean, in a way, it's a kind of a curse, because if you don't create, then you're not gonna flourish, but at the same time, you need time to create. So, and a lot of time is taken up by life. So there's a really weird. It's almost like a battle. It's an ongoing battle for an artist to find the time to create, and eventually, the longer you go without creating, the more it catches up with you, and you have to appease this sort of thirst or whatever it is, or you'll go nuts.
Okay, so it's your creative outlet. If you don't share it, then it diminishes you, and it diminishes the people you're not going to share it with. I get that part, but so that's the like typical tortured artist, right?
It sounds like a cliche, and that you can't be an artist if you don't suffer. But I've learned that most cliches are pretty much true.
Yeah.
That's why they're cliches. But you will suffer if you don't create as an artist.
Right.
It's not good for anybody. It's not good for anybody around you. I find that when I'm creating a lot, just the people that end up hanging around me physically notice a difference. There's a different energy, a different aura, a different vibe, and they can feel it. Like, you've been, how come you have so much energy today? And it's like, oh, because I just wrote this new song, or it's because I wrote this new lyric, or I came up with a new riff, or I found out a different way to take photographs, or it's contagious too, right? So, it does sort of help other people too, I guess, in a subliminal way.
Well, and I would say I'd say it helps other people in tremendous ways, because art, and memes are the new art, right? So if you create a meme that touches people and shows them something or teaches them something, and we're in this 2-second digital realm, memes are the new art. And if you're willing to invest yourself into actually doing the old art of a song or a conversation or a painting, that to me, that's like kudos, right?
Yeah, I agree with you with the meme part, because memes are like something that we never used to have. We kind of did have them in a way, but it wasn't as they weren't as freely available. Like, you had to go to a museum to look at a painting, right? So a painting could be considered a meme, but you had to go somewhere to see it. Now everything's delivered to you. So memes are exponentially more powerful now than they were back then. A meme is pretty much a condensed version of an advertisement or an idea, and it's presented exactly how you said, like in a 2-second way that people don't have to pay attention to. And even if they don't realize what the meme actually means, they still have it in their head.
Right. Which is
still effective.
Well, absolutely, which is what art does. So people that knew Starry Night by Van Gogh,
yeah,
could actually feel themselves in that starry night, whether pardon me, whether it was a long lost love or an unrequited love or some kind of that, they could be inside of that. And so, and that, I don't know, Van Gogh, how long it took him to paint, or if it's real, or any of the history nonsense, but if you have a meme that you make that changes someone's mind about an issue or touches them in a way that makes them more compassionate, less compassionate, whatever the case may be, no negative or positive judgment, then it's got an effect that is like so powerful in the human mind.
Yeah, I honestly think that memes are not too far away from spells. Like, it's pretty much like a spell, except it comes with an image that's far more effective than drawing a symbol in the sand or on the wall or painting something on a cave. It's a meme. You can take a photograph and you can you can attach a meme that has nothing to do with the photograph at all, but the photograph describes the meme effectively. You can still put them together. There's so many more things you can do now with memes that you couldn't do a long time ago. And so I think that in itself has just made them exponentially more powerful. A meme can literally change the world in a matter of minutes. It's actually kind of scary.
Oh, it's totally scary. And so, as an artist, and I'm speaking to you as an artist, if you realize that you have that power, and you don't either act on it or you're careful to act on it, do you understand that you have the ability to do that?
I try not to think about that, to be honest, because that is...
you don't want that responsibility?
Yeah, I was going to say with great, like that great whole whatever responsibility speech that Spider-Man keeps getting. I kind of don't want that responsibility, but at the same time, it is still at the back of my head, but it never dictates. I never let it dictate. Because I think that if you start letting that dictate, that's almost a form of self-censorship in a way.
Right.
And so it's an influence that I would rather not have there until after it's done.
Okay, so, and I just want to remind you, in case you forgot, this is not the Spider-Man channel. This is the Batman channel.
Yeah, I know.
So the Spider-Man reference is not... No, I'm just kidding.
I won't do any more Spider-Man references, I promise.
No, do them all. Do them all. That is fantastic. So I'm trying to get my mods to find your channel, and if we don't do that pretty soon, then I want you to open up a YouTube window so I can make you a mod so you can drop your channel.
Okay, I got the YouTube.
Can we work on that?
Yeah, I know I'm slow at this kind of stuff.
No, take your time, because like what's her face? She's having trouble finding your channel. I had a hard time finding your channel. I mean, I opened a window, and I'm not a YouTube dummy, and I'm not a whatever. I couldn't find your channel either. And I didn't even know you had a channel. And I'll tell you what, Polly and I have spoken in the Kev Baker Show for over a year and a half, I guess. Is that about right?
I think that sounds about right, yeah.
And I never knew he had a channel because he doesn't promote it. He's the great mod. He's always there for Kev, and he and I don't promote our stuff on his channel. But I had no idea you even had a channel, and so shame on us for never talking about that. But if you jump into, when I see you in YouTube, I'm going to make you a mod. You're going to drop your channel because all my mods are just kind of like, I can't find it.
I just tried to drop it, actually, and it wouldn't let me.
Because I didn't make you a mod.
Oh, okay.
Where are you?
I'm already in there.
I don't see you. I'll find you. You're not Mandy, are you?
No.
You should just be one Polynation.
Yeah, that's what I am. I'll throw a PPP in there and see if you can see it.
Do that. There we go. And if anybody, we're going to give I don't want to put you in timeout. Anybody who knows what PPE is, PPP, throw it out there, you get a gold star. First one, do it. And yeah, Polly, there, you're a mod now. So
Okay,
drop your channel in there. I have a delay. I want to ask you a couple more questions.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of questions. Felicia knows. We love Felicia. She knows PPP. Connie won? Okay, Connie won. Yeah, Connie did pretty good. So what is your geography? And within reason, don't tell us your address, but
I live in Toronto right now. Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
I love Canadians. I'll tell you what, Canada made one of the best police cop shows of all time on television.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm serious. It's called Rookie Blue. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, okay, so that's what Canada's known for. That's awesome.
No.
Wait. Let me take that back. I was actually not born in Canada, so I'm kind of not really Canadian.
Where were you born? Where were you born?
Scotland.
Oh, so you're like a Kev Baker Scottish brother.
Actually, I have the same last name as Johnny Whistles.
Oh, nice. All right.
I think we might be relatives even.
Cousins, probably.
Something. I don't know.
Yeah, and so your family moved to Canada.
Yeah. When I
And,
was like 2, probably. So
all
I'm
right,
pretty much, I'm Canadian. I'm
you're
just a
Canadian.
covert American, really.
And God love you guys. I want to tell my Canadian friends, Brenda Mitchell is a Canadian. She's in the chat. I want to tell my Canadian friends, don't be covert Americans. Be better than us.
We'll just say sorry, dude.
I know. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, sorry, hey.
You could have a donut and a beer. Leave me
Yeah.
alone, eh?
Hey, we'll buy you a coffee.
And so that gets me back to what I was going to talk about. Bob and Doug McKenzie were my first Canadian experience.
Oh my God! Did you notice that they named the 2 astronauts on that rocket Bob and Doug? And
Oh,
nobody,
yeah.
okay, I was the only one that was like freaking out about that. Like they take off, eh?
You're like, wait a minute. They're telling a TV show about the rockets while we're doing Bob and Doug. Oh yeah, take off, eh?
Yeah, they took off. That's awesome. I don't know how that's so funny and no one else picked up on it. At least not in my circle of friends. I'm like, doesn't anybody like think it's funny that their names are Bob and Doug and they just took off?
It's like, don't you guys realize they're throwing this right back in your face like the COVID nonsense?
It's kind of like that, yeah.
Oh, totally. And but I got to tell you, the Rookie Blue, that television show is amazing.
It is.
And we have like I don't pay for television, I don't pay for cable or anything. I get over the air, and so they're showing stuff from Canada on a channel called I can't think of it, but I'm going to skip it. They show all these Canadian television shows that were like 5 and 6 and 7 years old. And they're new to me, so I'm like, I'm watching these now. This is so great, and the actress from Rookie Blue is now on FBI in the U.S. and good for her. Missy Peregrine, gorgeous, love her. And I told my sister about this, so she got on to her Netflix and she started watching Canadian television, and she and I talked about it, and it was like, this is how the United States television was about 15 or 20 years ago. It was a lot more innocent. It wasn't nearly as violent. It was just, there's a good story we're going to tell you. We got some decent actors, and we want to tell you a story. So I'm huge on my Canadian friends and my Canadian television friends.
I didn't realize you had a Canadian audience. Hello to the Canadian people out there, if they're listening.
Yeah, Brenda Mitchell's there. Dirk's over in Europe. Long Reach one surprises me. I'm not sure. And thank you for saying I have an audience, because I don't. I have friends who come to my channel. And
same with me. It's okay.
Can you drop your channel link in there again?
I can, I think.
Do it. And Dearest Dawn used to be Dawn. I can't remember her second name, but I like your new name, and I still love your avatar. So do me a favor, guys. Go over to Polynation's channel. I'm doing it right now, and I have a delay, but I'm going to click it.
Yeah, but don't get your hopes up, people, because there probably won't be any new content for a little bit, but it'll start coming regularly. But just be patient.
Well, I'll tell you,
I'm actually about to move out of the city too, so in October I'll be moving somewhere where it's going to be a lot more easier for me to not only make ends meet, but put out more content.
Oh, which is fantastic. So West Please is in Vancouver Island.
Oh, nice. I love Vancouver Island. It's like there's flowers that grow there that don't grow anywhere else in the world.
Can I tell you a quick story?
Yeah.
So I was born and raised in Colorado, and I've traveled to both coasts of the nation by myself. Really, it's a big place, really far, and I've seen the entire nation, and I've taken pictures and blah, blah, blah. And my parents went to Vancouver, and they went to BC, and they went to Vancouver Island, and they came back and they said, okay, so you've been all across this country. You have not been to the best place on earth. They said, this place is amazing. There are these flowers that were as big as my head, and they just grow naturally. Nobody has to water them. They don't fertilize them. It's like God put his little finger and said, Vancouver gets an amazing place.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like it's really magical. Like just even like because you have to get on a ferry to get there.
Right.
Even just going on the ferry is magical because you have on one side of you you have mountains like I think they're the youngest mountains in the world. But they're impressive. Like people say, oh, like the Adirondacks and like the like there's the Appalachians. And those aren't mountains, folks. I'm sorry, you got to go see the Rockies. Those are mountains.
Yes, they are.
And I've never seen the Himalayas, but apparently they're even bigger.
Yeah.
So I can't even imagine. But there's magic in mountains. It sounds cheesy, but there's magic. Like you just have to get near a mountain, and you can feel it.
I would say there's wisdom in mountains.
Yeah, like trees. Like they just see everything. Think of what a mountain sees. It's like time lapse, but it's like 10, 20,000 years in a couple seconds.
And from such a higher altitude than humans or little furry creatures, that they've been there when it all happened.
Yeah. There's so much stored information in a mountain.
Exactly. And if you can tap into that when you're there, and then maybe not tap into it like in memory, but if you can tap into the wisdom that it possesses, I think it makes humans really peaceful when we're in there. At least it does for me.
I totally agree. I think that's what a lot of the ancient medicine, shamans, and all that kind of stuff. That's what they do. They tap into that old knowledge. It's there. It's just it's there for the taking. If you want to read it, you can read it. And some people don't know how to read, right? So it's a different way of literacy, that's for sure.
Okay, so for you, what does it take for you to read that?
Well, for me, it's just being around something that's so big, for one, is just very humbling. Like, to look at something that is so much bigger than you, no matter what it is, if it's a tree or a mountain or an animal or whatever, it's very humbling. Like, you're not the biggest thing on the planet. Your problems aren't the biggest thing here. There's way bigger things out there, and they've been there for way longer than you can even imagine because you weren't alive that long. We're just a blink of an eye in this kind of stuff. Mountains have been here for generations upon generations, and just being around something that's that old and that big, at least to me personally, I can feel that stuff. It's like I want to go and put my hand on it. I want to touch it. I want to speak to it almost. I know that sounds funny. You don't speak to a mountain, but like I've yelled at thunderstorms. I've yelled at trees. I've spoken to a mountain, like spoken to a rock. They all hear. It's all vibrations, right? Like sound is a vibration just as much as a mountain is a vibration.
Right.
So I think it's really important to, if you're going to go try to absorb or soak in this kind of old nature kind of stuff, that you just stay open and just listen, and don't just listen with your ears, listen with your eyes, listen with your skin, listen with everything, because you'll feel it. Like anybody knows there's magic in the mountains. The hills have eyes, like all these things. There's magic in mountains. It's because that they've been there for so long. It's just information waiting to be tapped.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And that was what the question I was trying to bait you into was, when you're in those mountains, if you listen, you can get it. You will hear it. You will feel
it. A lot of times, I mean, sometimes people will get freaked out about it because they won't expect it. Some people that even that aren't artistically inclined, they'll visit the mountains and they'll come back totally artistically inclined.
Okay, which is cool. And, all these weird anomalies of autism, music, and all that stuff, I don't know. I'm not musically inclined, so I have to kind of set that to the side. But I can tell you that if a person has a dark night of the soul and they can get themselves into that kind of an environment, it will clear itself up.
Yeah, definitely. At least, at the very least, it'll provide some sort of insight or new information that should be a tool that can be used for the person doing it on a
And
personal level.
yeah, absolutely. And just kind of a weird, another dumb story is I drove from Colorado to Virginia to go to Virginia Beach, and it was the middle of the night. It was like it was not middle of the night. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm in West Virginia, and I stop. I'm starving. I got to go to the bathroom. I've been driving for like 18 hours, and I stop at this truck stop. And at the time, I was about 22 years old, and I looked probably about 17. And so I stop at the truck stop. I go in. I use the bathroom. I sit at the counter. I get biscuits and gravy, and the gal's talking to me a little bit because I've got a funny accent, right? And she says, "So, what'd you think about that mountain pass?" And I said, "Did I go over a mountain pass?" And she said, "Oh yeah, when you're going through the Appalachians, there's mountain passes." And I said, "Well, I'm from Colorado, so I didn't realize that I was driving through the mountains."
So the Appalachians to somebody from Colorado is basically like a hill.
If that.
Yeah, if that, exactly. They're also the oldest mountains in North America, so that's why they're so weathered.
That's what they say. They're worn down, they're weathered. The tectonic plates existed like X number of billion years ago or whatever. And the Rockies are new, and they're sharp, and they're jagged. And the Rockies will kill you if you let them. And the Appalachians will pet you. I mean, they're like, it's driving over a hill. And so it was really an interesting perspective to me.
So that's that same perspective, almost the same perspective, happened to me as I was driving through the Appalachians. I used to tour around a lot when I was in a band, and I drove through the Appalachians a few times, and I imagined the Appalachians, like, what would these mountains look like 100,000 years ago? They must have been huge, or like a million years ago. Like comparing them to because like if you compare them to the Rockies, they're just hills. They're not even hills. They're just like they're like foothills, like ant hills almost.
Right. Yeah. They're very small.
But if you've seen the Rockies and then you go into that situation, you know how the mountains are formed and all that stuff, and you think like at one point in time these mountains were like skyscraper size, like they would be like legit mountains. You would have no doubt that you were driving through a mountain pass. But that was like a million years ago. So it's kind of cool to like it's kind of cool to think about it that way. Like, and I don't know, you don't learn these things until you're older though, because they don't teach you that stuff in school, right? So,
well, of course not. They don't teach you that in school, and I don't even know if you learn it when you're older unless you experience it.
yeah, it's like you have to go look for it.
Yeah. So tell us, what band were you in, or what band? What is the share up on the rock star stuff?
I used to be in a band called Cyanspheric. We were marginally successful in Canada for a bit. We toured coast to coast and went down to Austin for South by Southwest. It was like probably like an 8-year portion of my life.
Wow.
That was, I mean, we never made any money. We had a couple videos on MTV and stuff, but we never made any money or anything. And eventually, the reason why I stopped doing it was it just became not fun. There was too much politics, and obviously, well, if anybody who's played in a band, there's usually drugs somewhere, and somebody usually has a problem with drugs, and that usually ends up ruining everything. And that's kind of what happened. It just wasn't fun anymore. So, but I mean, I got to a point where it was just like, oh, I don't really need to be in a band to make music because of technology. So a saving grace was that I could just keep writing music by myself. But I do miss playing in a band. I won't deny that. It was fun traveling around in a van and meeting new people every day and being in a new city every day was something I'll never forget. It's definitely shaped who I am today for sure.
Well, so were you a vocalist / musician / what did you play, and did you write? You wrote songs, you told me.
Yeah.
did you sing them, and what instruments do you play?
I played in the band mainly. It was guitar and vocals, but I do play bass and drums and piano. Um, I don't like doing vocals as much as I probably should, but that's just because I have the same thing that Jimi Hendrix had with his voice. He just doesn't like the sound of his own voice. I just don't like the sound of my own voice. To be, it's like if you ever heard yourself on an answering machine and you're like, I think that's what I sound like. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that is such a shame because people have told me I have a radio voice, and I have a voice for radios. Some people have told me, and I would tell you what, you actually really do too. And I'm going to ask my chat not to blow smoke up his ass, but does Paulie have a great voice for radio?
I have a face for radio too.
Throw a 1 in the chat if you think Paulie's got a voice for radio. Throw a 2 in the chat if you think I have a voice for radio. And if you hate both of us, then get the F out of here because we're just talking.
Yeah, and don't even throw a 3.
Somebody's going to throw a 33 and an 8. No, but that's awesome because I'll tell you what, I'd never had the opportunity to play an instrument, and I would have loved to have at the time. See, Ducting had to do a 444. We love you, Ducting. And Globebusters did a 1.5. And Chappelle did the dirty thing, of course, 69, because that's how she rolls.
I can't believe Globebusters is even listening.
Paulie, I know Bob's a legend, and Bob pops by my channel once in a while, and he and his wife Cammie are going through this, like they're getting ready to move, and Bob is a legend, and I am honored that he like stops by. But I would also say that it's the same reason you and I are talking right now. We are just people trying to navigate this place as best we can. And if you find somebody who has any kind of soul or any kind of kindred spirit, of course you want to support them, right?
Not just support them, dude, but befriend them and form alliances. There's not that many people like us out there. Like, as soon as I find one, I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna probably like.
I'm gonna grab you and hold you and
scare you away from being like too much freaking contact or whatever, because I don't know anybody like that.
Absolutely, and in our regular lives, we go through this whole mask nonsense, and the countries and the nations and the alleged politicians, they're doing these things that we're all having to deal with. So if we can find people who are of like mind, we grab onto one another.
I think that's a good idea. I think it's a really good idea. I think that idea should be the one that is, I guess, if you'll pardon the pun, pollinated throughout YouTube. Is as soon as you find somebody who's thinking the same way you do, don't take that for granted. Hang on to that. Build alliances, build friendships, and because there's not that. There's a lot of people out there, but there's not that many of us out there that think the same way we do. And
are willing to go out there and say, look, Globebusters, you've done a lot of great work proving to people that this place is stationary. It's not spinning through space. I know it's an uncomfortable position, but I love you for stepping out there to do that, and I'm going to support you at every chance I get if you let me. So if you're going to support Paulie or someone else, I'm on your side. And people always say we're in this together. That's nonsense. We're not in this together.
I hate that cliche. I so hate that cliche.
Brother, there's so many realities going on right now at the same time.
They put us in here together.
Yes. Yes, they did. And if we take the bait, we're screwed. I almost used a different word, but we can stick together if we are of like mind. We can stick together. And I can support you, and you can support me, and we can support Moonbeam and Sage Universe. And we're going to shout the chat for a minute. My Best Scorpion, Leslie, Brenda, Ductine.
Hi, Leslie. Hi, Connie.
Chappelle, Earth Daughter, Strangefoot. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you, Luna, my soul sister.
Oh, Luna's in there. Hi, Luna. Good daisy.
Buddy, Luna, we're in the soul group. Dark Slayer, Connie G, Who do we miss? We missed a lot of, maybe not a lot of people. Dearest Dawn, who changed her name, and I can't remember her last one, which pisses me off.
I'm still learning my shout out etiquette. So
Katina
bear with
Birdcage.
me.
Mandy, Alliance is formed. Mandy, I don't know you until today, and if I do, then shame on me. But thank you for being here, and thank you all you guys for being here, because it's just my friend Polly and I having a chat.
Yeah, this is super fun, dude.
I kind of love that my Canadian friends like me better than my American friends. I think that's kind of a neat thing.
Is that a surprise to you?
No, not at all. No, because I mean the whole USA thing.
Canadians like everything better than the US. Like we just like everything more than the US likes it. We just because we feel like we have to. Like if the US likes something, Canadians have to like it a little bit more just so that we feel important.
That is so funny. I love that. I do. And you know, the Americans down here who actually understand hockey really love the fact that you guys are so much better at hockey. And Jules, I miss Jules. Sorry, Jules, my best Scorpion. I missed you too. I'm sorry. We love the fact that we kind of stole your hockey. You know, we took the Quebec Nordiques and we made them the Colorado Avalanche, and we're not proud of it, but we wanted to emulate your hockey, and so the only thing the Americans could do is buy it, and that is so effing sad to me.
Colorado was good when you had Forsberg.
No, Peter, are you kidding me? Peter the Great?
Yeah, and he's not even Canadian.
And no, he's Swedish. Yeah, he's Swedish. And he and Joe Sakic, are you kidding? Oh.
I know, yeah. Those were the days.
Yeah, that was, believe it or not, a long time ago. Which brings me to another question, and you don't have to answer, but I would like to know in which decade you were born.
Oh, I was born in 1977.
No, so there you go. There's a straight answer.
It was the same year Elvis died because they had to make way for the new king of rock and roll.
Which is you.
Yes.
So they got rid of Elvis. They got Paulie.
I think so.
But
something went wrong. Something went wrong, and I didn't become famous. So
no, because you wouldn't sell your soul for pills and for dope and.
Well, yeah, I think I was put here without a soul. Like it's a non-negotiable soul. I mean, I have a soul, but it's just not. It's not on the market. I guess it doesn't get traded the same way as other souls.
But there you go. So you couldn't sell it out. And
yeah, it wasn't mine to begin with, I guess.
Oh, it belonged to maybe your creator?
Maybe.
Yeah, and so you were very careful with it because you knew you possessed it, but you were not going to let it be thrown over.
Well, yeah.
Because it wasn't yours to throw over.
I kind of have that feeling that it was kind of like I'm just supposed to take care of it until I'm done.
Amen, brother. No, amen. That's amazing. And if anybody in the chat gets that and understands that, then amen on you guys too. And I do have to shout out my little yellow duck, Podum, who stopped watching hockey when Gretzky was sold.
Oh, no. Gretzky was awesome, though. Like, back at, like, because, well, I already told you my age, but Gretzky was, like, he was, like, up there with, like, Michael Jordan for pretty much 10 years of my life. He was an icon. He was an icon for the whole time he played in Edmonton. At least he was 99. That was He was the best sports figure that we had at that time, unless you were into baseball. And then in Toronto, we had people like Jesse Barfield and George Bell, but we never had like Michael Jordan or anything like that. In Canada, it was always like we had the odd sports figure would come up and he would be Canadian and people would be like, hey, he's Canadian, eh? But
I'll tell you what, if anybody's willing to do the research and look at Gretzky's records for time on the ice, he has surpassed every other icon allegedly in any sport of any time at all. Jordan is like, he's not even like, no, compared to what Gretzky accomplished on the ice, for the time he was there, he averaged like 6.7 goals per game.
True. Okay, but what I want to point out here is that I'm not comparing the actual sport skills. I'm just comparing them as far as like an icon goes. Like,
okay, that's fair.
Yeah, like they were just like basically household names. They were brands. They were. I mean, Gretzky now has like his own winery, and like he has his own restaurants and stuff now.
Right.
At least he does here. He's got a winery in the Niagara region. It's Wayne Gretzky's wine.
Nice. And yes, Dirk, professional sports are fake. And Sage Universe, appreciate you saying that. And Polly, if you haven't watched my NFL is fake and stage videos, I'd say take a little time, go over and watch them.
I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because like I got a lot of time until October, and I honestly I used to be a huge sports fan. Used to be. I'm still a sports fan, I guess, in a way because I like to gamble.
No, Polly's a gambler.
A little bit.
The girls are smiling right now.
Oh, are they?
They like the bad boys, of course.
Oh, I'm not a bad boy. I just like to lose money. That's all. If you want to give me money to lose, hey, go ahead.
Hit the PayPal. Hit Polly's PayPal. Give him some money to lose.
I could turn your $10 into 10,000. I promise.
Sweet.
No, I mean, I used to really like sports, and as a kid, I was encouraged to play sports. I played in a lot of house leagues. I played baseball. I played football. I played soccer. I couldn't ever skate, so I never played hockey. But I was a good goalie. But now now people don't even want to play sports. Like I tried to get my kid into sports. I have a 14-year-old son, by the way, and he just wasn't into it. He just didn't want to. It was almost like the social interaction was more of a hassle than the actual physical sport.
Right. And well, so that's an interesting thing, and let's go on this for a minute. When I was a child raised to be competitive, and I don't know if it was kind of in me or my family did that or whatever, and I'm kind of an aggressive individual. I can walk into a room and things are going wrong, and I will step up and I will say, okay, stop it. No, we're not doing this stuff. And when I was a kid, like 9, 10, 11, 12, when I played Little League football, I wanted to be the guy who either tackled him or got the football and scored something, and I wanted to be that. And now as I see kids growing up, and it's probably society in large, they don't encourage that. They actually discourage that kind of behavior.
Excuse me. Yeah, I think competitiveness has been strategically weeded out as almost if it's like it's not good to be competitive anymore, and I have a problem with that. I think that every kid should have to feel the feeling of losing. Like you weren't, like, you know what, you weren't good enough. You fucked up or you made a mistake or sorry about the F-bomb. But like, like defeat, you need to know what defeat feels like, or else how are you going to win? How are you going to appreciate the win if you never lost?
Right.
And no one fails anymore.
Well, everybody's failing because they've set us up to not want to win.
Nobody fails in school. Like
Trudeau fails.
You just get you just get a bad grade, right? You get a bad grade instead of failing. That's right. All you get. You don't actually fail. When I was a kid, I remember there were kids in my class. They were so, I guess, not. I don't want to say stupid or anything like that, but they didn't learn as much or as quickly as the rest of the class, and they got held back.
Right. They
had to do that grade again. That never happens anymore because there's too many people behind you now.
I think when I was in ninth grade, we had an 18-year-old in ninth grade.
Was his name Matthew McConaughey?
No, he was just like a dumbass, and realistically, and when I say dumbass, that's not kind, but he was probably slow. He probably had a bad family life. He probably needed some extra assistance, but they just kept holding him back. And so, like, he's got a mustache. We're in ninth grade. We're like 14 and 15-year-old kids.
All right, you've seen Dazed and Confused, right?
I saw. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you're talking about Matthew McConaughey's character here. I'm pretty sure everybody's had one of those guys in their high school.
Exactly. And nowadays, apparently not.
No, nowadays it's the teachers don't want to deal with those people, so they pass them at the bare minimum. So they save their job, and they also save themselves another year of having to deal with this student that actually thinks for himself.
Right.
Or herself. Itself. But I don't know.
Or, oh yeah, if you get into the pronouns, I am dropping the call.
Okay. Yeah, just hang up.
I am. It's just like, no, if we get into the pronouns, I'm dropping the call.
Yeah, I'm anti-noun.
Anti-ma'am. It's ma'am.
Anti-noun.
Copy that. So, no, that's amazing. So, and I'm going to get lost here a little bit because I honestly didn't know you were Canadian, and I should have. And I also didn't realize I clicked on your channel when we were talking a little bit. Dude, you're super talented.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Like when you're sitting there making videos for MTV and didn't get to go to that next level, it's probably good you didn't get to go to that next level, because that dark spot on your soul for giving that up may have been not worth the fame and the magic that happens in Hollywood.
I'm happy you're saying that. Actually, that's bringing me a lot of light. So thank you for saying that, because I've looked back on it a lot, and like, you know, sometimes in a longing way, like I miss like playing in front of thousands of people. And when you get off stage and you just go to get a drink at the bar and you can't buy yourself a drink because everybody's doing it for you because you just played an amazing show. Like I miss that. That's totally something that is, I guess, it's more dopamine you'll ever get.
Right.
Than from YouTube. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, absolutely.
So you having said that is definitely it's encouraging, and at least, you know, I can still create for myself, and if it's, you know, if it ever gets to a point where I'm happy with it, then I'll share it with everybody and put it on YouTube, and that's basically, like, I'm not in it for money at this point. I mean, I don't even really. I'm kind of looking for a way around money. I want to be the first person that doesn't need money and is not rich.
That is an awesome aspiration. That is an awesome aspiration. And I am the guy that doesn't want money but wants to win the lottery so I don't have to worry about money.
Right. See, it's a catch-22. Like everybody that wants to not worry about money needs a certain amount of money first.
Yes.
And I'm trying to figure out a way around that, because I'm pretty sure there is a way around it. I just don't know what it is yet, but I'm close. I'm really close.
Can I give you a sharing thought that may be kind of part of that puzzle?
Yes.
There's a South African guy named Michael Tellinger.
I know him very well.
Okay, so you've watched his videos.
Yes, I have.
And you know he's an archaeologist.
Yeah.
And he searches for these cool little rune stones, and he does all this bullshit nonsense about stones and whatever. But his idea about Ubuntu, and I gotta stop and pause for No Way's thoughts. Brother, No Way's thoughts. You got to get back to the content, my friend.
Yeah.
We are missing your content.
I'll get back to it. I have a lot of time until October, so I'll definitely be. And I also got a new camera too, so I'm still trying to figure that out.
Awesome. You and No Way have to do that. But when you get back to Michael Tellinger, the Ubuntu model is if you can grow fish, you grow enough fish for yourself, and you grow another third, and then that third extra that you grow, you trade for the guy who makes firewood, or the guy who makes metal, or the guy who makes wheat, or whatever.
That is very synchronistic that you're saying that, actually, because I'm sort of actually doing that in a way without I'm not using creative arts to do it. I trade seeds with people.
Well, right, but the seeds that you trade are. Go ahead.
Well, there's various seeds that I trade, different kinds of plants, and I don't ever ask money for the seeds that I send to people. 9 times out of 10, these people use said seed for medicine, and I'm quite happy to provide them with whatever seeds that I've made. I've made my own seeds from crossbreeding plants. So, but so I've never asked any sort of money or anything for seeds, but people have sent me stuff in return. Like I don't know if you want to call it karma or whatever, but it does have a monetary value. You could put a monetary value on it if you wanted to, but it's not actual physical money. People have sent me gifts, like physical gifts in the mail. People have sent me software, like things to help me, like things that I can use.
Right.
So it's not money, but it's definitely something that I just saw my best Scorpio said barter. It's exactly the same thing as bartering. You're right. I mean, it sounds primitive when you call it bartering. It's kind of a stigma attached to that word, but yeah, barter is better in my opinion.
Well, of course it is, and Luna, I think, nailed it. Luna just said equal exchange of energy.
Yes, totally.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So you're going to put your energy into nurturing these plants to make seeds that somebody else can use, and all that energy, you send it to them for free, and they have an equal exchange that they send back to you.
Yes. It's
and I'll tell you what. No, I'm sorry.
It was not like it was unexpected or anything like that, but I never, because I have a lot of people in my circle of like physical friends, and they know what I'm doing, and they're like, you can't just keep giving stuff away like this. Like, you're just like, it's stupid almost. Why are you doing this? You could be making so much money. And I keep telling them the idea is to not need money. I don't want it. I don't want it. The more money you have, the more problems you have. Sorry, I don't want anything to do with it.
And I'll tell you, that comes from an authentic place in your heart that I can tell the chat understands. I mean, they really get that I'm going to exchange my labor for something that you can use. And if you are willing to exchange your labor for something I can use, we are on equal footing. There's nobody owes anybody any interest on loans.
Can I change one word in that?
Please do.
Just change the word labor to passion.
Okay, yeah. No, that's a higher elevation than labor. Labor is toil, and passion is a higher elevation. So absolutely, I'm going to exchange my passion in this physical realm for something that equals your passion, and the two of us, pardon me, are both going to get what it is we need from each other based on the passion we're going to exchange. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, that's totally accurate. And that's the way it should work, in my opinion. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way because most people are just enamored with how to get more money.
Not yet. It doesn't work that way yet because that money is a mind virus. Money is a complete fiction made up that is a mind virus that all of us have to or contribute to. It's a fucking mind virus, and I will. Nobody can tell me otherwise.
I'm going to agree with you, so I'm not going to try to tell you otherwise. Because I don't want anything to do with money.
Right. It's negative. It's not good for you. It's dirty. It's not. I mean, I'm not talking about dollar bills or what they can buy. It's not about.
You can never buy back what money takes away from you, ever.
Exactly. 100%. You can never buy back what money takes away from you. And Paulie said it, and I have to repeat it. And I have to repeat it. You can never take back you can never buy what money takes back from you. Because it literally, they bastardized the saying. They said money, the love of money is the root of all evil. No, that's bullshit. Money is the root of all evil because it's a bastardized representation of your passion.
Yeah. Yeah, money basically just gives you it gives permission to the superficial materialism to exist when we don't even need it.
Doesn't it give control over your choices to somebody else?
it takes away all your control, in my opinion. Money is just like, I mean, slavery, pretty much.
Absolutely.
We're all slave. If you have a job and you're making money, guess what? You're a slave. Sorry, doesn't matter what color you are. If you're making a paycheck, you're a slave.
And partially a debt slave to the taxation system, and partially a debt slave to whatever credit card you own. But if we were authentic with our passion, and I want to use that word instead of labor, if we were authentic with our passion and we freely shared that with one another, then we would not be in a negative take from me kind of position, right?
I feel like we wouldn't have a need for money at all at that point if we were
Not
all
at
like
all.
that.
No.
Because here's what school does that kind of takes that away from us is everybody's forced into a cookie cutter school system. So the kids that are gifted in one area are ignored, and the kids that are gifted in another area are also ignored, and everybody's forced down this one tunnel. Whereas what should be happening is kids should be recognized for having talents or gifts or affinities or even just preferences. What if a kid just doesn't like doing math? Fine, let him paint or whatever. Let's see what happens. What if school was like that? And when you find out what that kid's good at, then you nurture that, you grow it. In fact, you empower the kid to grow it themselves. That doesn't happen in school.
It doesn't.
That's why school is just kind of like a glorified babysitter because you need two incomes to run a household. Like, so
you do, yeah.
Yeah, so it's so expensive you can't do it otherwise. So you got to put your kid in school, and this is the unfortunate result of it.
Right. And with that two incomes to run a household, I will tell you, I watch the propaganda of media / government / history, and I will when everyone promoted the two income family, it wasn't because women and men are equal or women are better or men are better. It wasn't any of that nonsense. It was double the taxation.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
And also double the votes.
Well, yeah. Both of you can go out and vote, and both of you can go out and pay taxes. And so now I just literally doubled my income. If I'm the dark side,
it's pretty clever.
It's amazing. And they did it so slyly. They're like, well, okay, you women, you should be able to work too. And the women are like, well, yeah, of course I should. And they never said, we can take a third of your labor or a third of your passion, just like we do your men. So jump in there and pay it up, suckers.
You know what I'm interested in, and I haven't heard anybody do anything on this, is when this whole movement first started about women being empowered to work, to leave the house and go to work because they felt like they could do it. Was there any women out there, mothers, grandmothers, or anything like that, that were like, wait a minute, we don't have time to work because we're busy raising kids?
Yes, there were.
So
yes, there were.
We don't hear about those protests though very often. At least I haven't seen any.
Well, we didn't hear about them because it happened in about 1965, which was before you were born.
Right.
But there was a true feminist movement, not the fake feminist nonsense now, but there was a true feminist movement at that time that said, wait a minute, if I have to raise my children, take care of my husband, feed my family, take care of my house, and I have to go to a fucking job too? Oh, what are you, crazy?
Yeah, it seems like a lot.
Yes.
I mean, and there's also this cool like side avenue that I went down where there's like women generally tend to live longer than men do. And right. There was these people that were looking into some of the possible reasons why would Mother Nature select women to live longer than men? And apparently some of the theories is that it's because the role of like a mother and a grandmother is more important to anybody underneath them than what a father or a grandfather could provide. uh,
Of course, of course.
as far as like nature is concerned, like
Yeah,
for procreation, that kind of thing,
absolutely.
which I thought was fascinating. I mean, grandmothers they're special people. Everybody will tell you, like,
Oh, of course.
you know what I mean. So like this kind of a synchronicity there.
Well, there is not only for that, and the trick that they played on humanity around 1930 to 1950, when they just totally fucked up our minds and ruined everything and threw everything upside down. But when you look at the natural world, the male peacock has to be very pretty and very flashy for the female peacock to even pay attention.
Yeah.
And in humans' world, it's backward, right? So women put on makeup and they doll themselves up to get us to like them, which is like whatever. But every male species in the natural world has to be more attractive to the female in order to go copulate with them, right?
Well, even now in today's society, I'd say that's even more true because uh, like a lot of women out there are looking at the guy with the fast car or like the huge wallet or the huge house or the doctor, the psychiatrist, the all those big name jobs. Um, but it's because they're programmed that way now. Like
Exactly.
that's how they grow up. Like all the media that you're fed from when you're born, like it started before we were born.
Yes, it did.
So like it's hard to explain to people that don't realize that something started before they were born what's going on. But
and now this is what you have to fucking deal with.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and so here we are in these obscure chat rooms with like-minded people because like attracts like. So this is a good thing though, because these places are only going to get bigger.
I hope so. I sincerely hope so because I think your voice tonight, listening and reading the chat while you talk, your voice tonight resonates with people that say, well, yeah, he's kind of like right on the button. And the thing that's most important to me with every stream I ever do is, okay, what do we do now? Here we are. This place is beyond belief crazy right now. It was crazy before we got here. The United States was not the United States that we were told. Canada is a crown province that the Queen owns, and these people are our cousins, and they're dealing with Trudeau and all this nonsense. What is it we do from here going forward that not only gives us a free humanity, but lets us have our autonomy as a person who is a gift from God in this realm, who wants to share and contribute with others? How do we take a step forward from there?
Okay. I don't know if you're gonna like this. Is gonna be like a one-liner answer, and you might not like it. But we all have to be covert Americans.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And I'll tell you what, Americans have to be covert Americans.
And what I mean by that, okay, I'll explain that because I do mean to be funny, but at the same time, it's true because by covert Americans, I mean don't hide your pride, but don't give up your freedom either. Like don't just get walked on by your government. But there has to be a way to do it like covertly, like because it's a losing battle from what I see right now. There's too much of the population that is just you can't help the helpless. Right. There's just too many of them. So I think the best thing to do is kind of like what we're doing. It is just talking to people that are under the same mindset, getting people in chat rooms, getting people to connect, building a network that, I don't know, but yeah, of course there's algorithms out there monitoring everything, but we can actually use that to our advantage. Try liking something that you never liked before. on YouTube just to screw with an algorithm. Like the algorithm's gonna be like, wait a minute, what? And all of a sudden you like fishing? What? Wait a minute.
I will not. I will never say that.
You know what I mean? It would just pick. I don't know. Maybe a bad example, but just pick.
No, it's a great example. It was just an illustration of why I chose the YouTube name that I chose.
Well, you know how people are saying, like, you know how sometimes you're talking about something with somebody and then you look at your Facebook feed and it's got an advertisement that it's exactly
Absolutely.
what you're. Okay, so I tried to fool it and I kept, because I don't like country music that much. I'm sorry, but so I would always talk about Garth Brooks just randomly to people,
For the hell of it.
just to see if Facebook would start recommending Garth Brooks, and I could never get it to work. So I might have to do a different experiment,
Right.
but it's on the list of things to do.
Which is a great experiment, by the way. I love that.
I just want to see if I can get it to work.
Can I trick the AI into giving me things that I don't want, even though I told them that's what I want?
Exactly.
I love that.
Everybody should be doing this. I wish I could teach a class on how to do this, but the unfortunate thing is that I'm not really sure how to do it yet. So when I figure it out, I'll put something up on YouTube.
Yeah, when you figure it out, share it.
I totally will.
And so when Alexa came out, and my sister had Alexa on her phone, I was asking it questions about, is it AI? Is it machine learning? Is it hooked into CERN? I asked it a whole bunch of heady questions, and it kind of shut down and turned off.
There's something something about Alexa is astounding that a lot of people, at least that I've talked to, like people that I work with, and I work in kitchens. So, I mean, some people are really bright, but some people aren't. And AI, especially the voice recognition or anything like Siri or Google Home or Amazon or anything. And I tell them, you know, it's listening to you all the time. And they're like, no, it's not. And I'm like, okay, but
yes, it is.
But I'm like, how do you turn it on? And they say, I just say Alexa. And I'm like, so how does it know to listen to you before you say Alexa?
Right.
And they're like, because by you saying Alexa, that activates it. And I'm like, no, that's not how voice recognition works.
Yeah, wait a minute. It's listening for Alexa.
All the time.
All it's listening for Alexa. And how is it not listening to you all the time?
Exactly. That's it. People just don't get it.
No.
So that's where I always say you can't help the helpless.
Well, and fair enough. And God love them. I mean,
yeah, you just have to walk away. Just, you know, hopefully God finds a place for them somewhere.
This realm is filled with all kinds of people. And some of them get in your way, and some of them piss you off, and some of them you can really like, and some of them you can serve. And the people who are in the chat tonight, who are listening and participating, those are the people you and I are here to serve. I mean, you and I, yeah, we're having a great conversation. I've known you for a long time. We've never had the chance to talk. We get to do this tonight, which makes me happy. And I really like this. And thank you for being here.
Totally off the cuff. I love like spontaneous stuff like this. This is great.
Dude, I know. Thank you for taking the time. We were sitting in Kev Baker watching Bill Bean pray on something, and we're like, nah, we got to go talk about this. But everybody who's here gets to be a part of this, and we get to be a part of you guys, which is huge. Because, dearest Dawn, thank you for telling to hit the thumbs up. Thumbs up means nothing to me, but thank you for doing that. And Chappie, and all you guys, we are in this strange paradigm.
I just hit the thumbs up.
Oh, just now?
Yeah.
I'm taking away your mod duties. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. But we're all here now, and we need to stick together as we go through this craziness. And if there's anything you guys can contribute to either one of us on our channels or to each other, I mean, that's what it's about, right?
Yeah, it's like a snowball, except it's not made of snowflakes.
It's a mental snowball.
Yeah.
And I mean, seriously, I worked, what, 13 hours today, 14 hours yesterday, and 10 hours on Friday. And I was in Kev Baker's chat, and we are just kind of BSing. And Paulie's like, well, yeah, I'll go live with you. I'm like, score. Not because I'm not tired and don't feel sorry for me, but you guys who are here now with us, and anybody who hears this after, we're in the same tribe. We are in the same tribe. And it's not the what the hell's that show? Amazing Race Tribe? No. We're in the Soul Tribe. And we're going to have to connect, grab onto one another, share, support. Don't like and subscribe, but share and support. Because, I mean, the stuff that's out there. And, okay, tell me this, Paulie. In your town, are there things going on out there that are like negative, bad, violent protests? Are you dealing with that?
There's a few protests. It's not like crazy. I mean, there's been a few like statue defacings, and like there's been a few other protests. Like a bunch of people went onto the subway without masks because they're anti-maskers. But nothing crazy. Actually, the craziest thing that happened was apparently somebody got shot in the west end of my city because they weren't wearing a mask, or it was over a mask argument, and bullets started flying.
My!
Yeah, but we have gangs in our city. There's, I mean, like any city, really. It's just what you hear about. Like they're just cherry picking what they're telling us. So
how much the media shows you?
Yeah, and I don't even really get a lot of mainstream media feeds. It's all usually just either real people that are there or alternative means, like, YouTube channels and stuff like that.
Right. So here we are now, trying to navigate the things that are coming into our reality. Some of them positive, most of them negative. And if we stick together while we go through this, I think we have a better chance of navigating it in a way that benefits humanity.
I think Jimmy Carr said it best. We got to be like burn victims. They tend to stick together.
Oh, such a smartass.
It kind of works in this situation, because we're just getting burned everywhere we go. It's freaking, pandemic or fires or freaking, like, Jesus, what do you want us to do next?
Right. No, for sure. And I can't discount that. It only struck me in a way because my dad got burned, and it kind of struck me in a weird thing. But you're right about that.
You can thank Jimmy Carr for that. It's not my fault.
Copy that.
Sorry, dude.
So do me a favor.
I will.
Drop your link back in there.
Okay, I can do that now.
Oh, My Best Scorpion says, my new kitten is just a Batman face, is so beautiful. My Best Scorpion MC, I love your new kitten. That's amazing.
How come you can't drop photographs in YouTube chat? I don't get that.
You can't drop what?
You can't drop photographs in YouTube.
No, they don't have a meme or a GIF thing because they're kind of subjective. That'd be awesome. If Discord and YouTube had a baby, we could do that.
DiscTube.
Dude, get on your computers, get on the internet and make a DiscTube.
All right.
And we could drop memes, and we could drop links, and we could do all of it.
I don't know how to do that.
I don't either. I'm not that smart.
Someone must know.
There's somebody in the chat that could make DiscTube. So we could like minimize the window and drop a meme in there, and everybody could see it. It'd be amazing.
This is what we're talking about, building the snowball, but not out of snowflakes.
Yes.
People that know how to do stuff.
Do you think Canada is snowflake central?
A lot of it is.
I mean, Trudeau, come on.
Okay, well, see,
really?
Ontario is a different kind of Canada.
That is the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard. Oh my God.
Ontario is a different kind of Canada because everywhere else except Ontario is way nicer than Ontario.
Right.
It's just the people are uh, not as nice in Ontario. Like a lot of people are scared or paranoid because they're constantly fed stories about bad stuff. So
And they don't know if they're supposed to speak English or French.
well, in Ontario especially, yeah, it's a lot of cultures, all different languages, all the time. So, but if you go to the East Coast and you look at somebody in the eye walking down the street, they'll smile at you and say hello or good morning. If you do that in Ontario or Toronto, at least, they'll be like, "What the hell are you looking at?"
They might punch you.
Or they'll be like They'll be like, "Oh my god," texting on their phone. Somebody's looking at me.
Is it really that bad?
It is. Yeah, I'm not joking.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I'm leaving. That's why I'm leaving in October. I'm going to a place called Kitchener. It's way outside of Toronto.
Kitchener.
Yeah.
Wow. See, and so the perspective from Americans about Canada, especially, we're like, oh, you're kind of our slow cousins, and we love you, and we want to protect you, and we don't want anything to happen to you, and we're never going to let anybody penetrate your borders. And
we go to school on the short bus.
A little bit, kind of. I mean, sincerely, that's a lot of Americans think that.
I know, it's awesome. I love
it. And then we see Trudeau being up there all fucking crazy.
Trudeau?
Yes.
I don't vote. You can't blame me for that guy.
yeah. I'll tell you what. If voting were real, they'd make it illegal.
Yeah, I've never voted.
Good for you.
I don't see a point.
And so we kind of like. I would love to. The two things I want to be in my lifetime that I'm never going to be, that makes me sad, I want to be Canadian and I want to be Amish.
At the same time?
Well, either or. I mean, if I could be a Canadian Amish, that'd be amazing.
I think there are Canadian Amish people.
I'm sure there are.
Look into that. I think there are.
And if I could be a Canadian Amish person, I would have it knocked.
Why? Is it because of the beard?
Dude, I'd have no government. I'd have no restriction. I would only praise God every day when I woke up. I would only honor God all the time. There would be no monetary restrictions. There would be no nonsense in my world. I would never dream about my job. I would just be a free-range human. Amish are actually free-range human.
Sovereign.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, that's a tricky thing to get nowadays.
They're not buying gas. They're not.
They don't have social insurance numbers.
No, they're not beholden to the establishment in any way whatsoever. Yes, and my best Scorpion MC said it, Batman on the Barnyard. Fork yeah. I would love to be Batman on the Barnyard. I work as hard as an Amish person, and the government takes a third of my labor or passion, as you said. The government takes a third of that every single 2 weeks. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, I can't remember who said something, but I think there's a way to start your own country, and all you need is 150 people. I still need to look into it, but it's kind of one of the alleys I'm looking down at the moment.
Yeah, and it's probably United Nations sanctioned 150 people. Oh my goodness! So
all I'm worried about is how do we defend it? I think it's either going to have to be really well hidden, or we're going to need some badasses out of that 150.
150 better have big guns.
Yeah, or something.
Because the 7.4 billion of the rest of them want you to participate in their system.
Yeah. And
they're not going to relent unless you are really willing to fight.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I will tell you guys.
It's not looking good, I know.
It is not looking good. And the interesting thing to me, we were born into a system that is not looking good.
Mm-hmm. But, okay, there has to be an advantage about knowing that. There has to be, like,
Well, sure.
even though it's a shitty scenario, like, there's still got to be some kind of advantage you can get from that by knowing it, as compared to the people that just walk around saying, "Oh well, this is the way of things. Yeah, that'll be it. Yep, it'll do that.
I'll just put my mask on and be fine."
Yeah,
Right.
I refuse to wear a mask. I won't do it.
Agreed. And so the advantage I can see is a little bit of personal pride, which is whatever, but it's also that when this shit goes really bad and I don't have my mask on and you do, then you're going to fail and I'm not. And that's kind of a, not a prideful thing, but more of a natural selection thing. At some point, the Darwin Awards are going to kick in.
Well, here's the thing about masks that I find that it could play a factor, because you know how there's a flu season, quote unquote flu season, right? So the flu season starts like late October. So it's mandated in Ontario right now, or at least Toronto, that you wear a mask if you're in an indoor enclosure. Pretty much any store has a sign on it that says you got to wear a mask, but it also says underneath that you don't have to wear a mask.
If you have a medical condition.
Yeah. Long story short is, sorry, helicopter just flew over my place. That's cool.
The black helicopter is over Paulie's house. We're in trouble.
No, I didn't.
Bail out.
Yeah.
Disconnect.
See ya. I can't remember what I was talking about now.
The mask in the places.
Right. Okay. So it's mandated that you wear them, but it also says that you don't have to wear them. So the problem I'm finding is it's almost less anxiety to just freaking wear the mask, not because of the establishment.
Absolutely.
It's because the people in the establishment, the customers, the other ones.
Yep.
100%. They go nuts.
Peer pressure.
But once you get used to that, though, I think that's actually a way of social conditioning yourself for what's to come. So if you can get used to that, then I think you'll be better off. Yeah,
the vaccine is no problem.
Exactly.
Yeah. They're slow walking us. And I say slow walking very literally. They're slow walking us to the one world government, the new world order, the cashless society, the vaccine, which, like, who the fuck knows what's in that?
It's looking that way.
And it seems to be that way, and we're going to resist at the levels we can, given our circumstances. And you got a child. I mean,
yeah.
When you have a baby, you have to be careful with how
thankfully
you interact.
He's on the same page.
Well, right, but it may cost you something to keep him on that page. And when those choices come, it's a choice we're going to have to make. And for my worldview, none of us get out of here alive.
That's true, but this isn't all there is, so that's cool.
Exactly, and so all roads lead to the same place. Follow the one that has a heart. Follow the one that is authentically Paulie tonight, tomorrow, when you have to make that choice. Follow the one super champion rocker that you have to follow in that moment. Luna, when you're there and they say you have to do this thing, do you follow the mindset of the masses, or do you follow what's in your heart? And I will tell you, I can honestly say everybody who's in this chat right now will make the right choice. They'll make the choice for humanity / their soul / the betterment of all of us.
I would only change one thing.
Please do.
And that is, instead of the right choice, it would be the same choice. Because there isn't, I don't think, necessarily a right or wrong here. It's just because if people want to just go along with it, then why is that wrong? Like, maybe it's just more comfortable for these people to just go along with it because they're just not They don't have the tools necessary to deal with the consequences of that being a truth. So
Amen.
rather than that being a truth, it's just easier for them. And I can respect that. In fact, I think we all should respect that, because some people just would explode if they knew the truth.
Of course. Yeah. And what I would say to them is good luck, sucker.
Yeah, I would wish them luck. They're gonna need it.
Good luck. You're fucked up, but good luck, sucker.
They're gonna need it.
Yeah.
But there's a place for them too, apparently. I mean, that's what everybody says.
Of course. And you and I did not create this reality. You and I did not create this realm. We're not responsible for it. We're just trying to navigate it as best we can.
Yeah, I'm not even navigating at this point. What I'm doing is carving patterns in the ice with the back of my skate, because I can't skate.
Right.
So that's what I'm doing.
So how did you never learn to skate being Canadian? I got to ask you that. Are you not coordinated, or do you have some knee problems, or what the hell?
It actually goes back to what I was just telling you. When I was a kid, my dad put me in skating lessons, and rather than learn how to skate, I would sit on my ass and use my skates to draw in the ice.
Ah, copy.
I just never got good at skating. I don't know. I mean, I can skate. I'd never be good at hockey. Not unless I was on my feet. I played road hockey.
So you never really gave a crap about being a skater?
I just don't have a use for winter, to be honest.
Oh, there you go. So cold. And that's what I was talking to some people who moved to Colorado from California. They was trying to express how they didn't quite get the winter that we have. And it's so mild, but cold actually hurts your body.
Oh, yeah. Minus 40 hurts.
Warm never hurts your body. You may get a little sunburned, but it's going to go away and you're going to be fine. But cold actually hurts your fingertips. It hurts your toes. It hurts your knees. It hurts everything. Cold is the enemy. Heat, you can deal with heat.
It's easier to deal with heat.
By far.
By a lot of far, yeah. I've walked in minus 40, and it's so cold that when your eyes water,
it freezes.
The tears freeze your freaking eyelashes shut.
Yeah.
So you can't even see. It's like your eyes just get glued closed.
Hashtag we hate snow.
I have no use for it.
Well, I got to tell you, friend, we've been gone for a long time. We were 87 minutes into this.
No way, really?
Yeah, and it doesn't even seem like it at all.
Cool.
And I'll tell you, but if you have a topic you'd like to cover before we go, I am so happy to keep talking with you. I appreciate the chat. You guys, amazing. Thank you for being here on this Sunday night / Sunday morning somewhere else. I have no idea where a lot of you people are, except for Brenda, who is in Canada with you, Polly. And Carol. Carol, we had a great stream. If there's something you'd like to cover or something that's important to you, let's do it now, and then we'll just kind of sign off here pretty soon.
I don't think I have anything more important to cover. I would like to ask if anyone in the chat's seen anything about this. Like, I've looked for this meteor that's supposed to be, or comet, whatever, that's supposed to be flying around, and I can't see it. And like, people are telling me where to look, and I'm looking out my balcony, and I can see it, like the constellation where I'm supposed to look, but I can't see it. Just want to know if anyone's seen it. You're supposed to be able to see it with your naked eye, so.
Is there a comet that's going to come kill the world again?
Oh, I don't know. It's probably the best case scenario.
Oh. I am right there with you. You know, it took me a long time. Humanity has a death wish. The way humans act. We smoke, we drink, we do drugs. Humanity has a death wish. And I never quite got that.
You just reminded me of 3 things I need to do right now.
And I kind of get why, because this place is challenging.
Yeah,
it's a tough reality, brother.
Yeah, escapism isn't, it's not a flaw. It's a natural response to a crappy environment.
Yes, and this place is tough. And all of you guys in chat who are here hanging with us, I know it's hard. I get it. It kind of some days it sucks. And you wake up and you hurt, or you wake up and you're tired, and you wake up and you don't want to do what it is you have to do. But amen to all of you for being here with Polly and me. We really appreciate you guys being here. And Polly, for your internet debut with me, my friend, I am so glad you decided to do this tonight.
Yeah, it was really fun, dude. I want to say something too to everybody in the chat is that you're always just one choice away from completely changing your life.
Do me a favor, expand on that.
No.
No.
Okay, well, I mean, a lot of choices you may take for granted. Even just the way you drive to work or your routine in the morning. A lot of times when your perspective is changed is because you changed that routine. You did something slightly different or took a different way home or like something along those lines. So just making a choice, like a simple choice, whether or not you take one way home or the other way home, you would drive past something that you wouldn't see, maybe make you think about something, or maybe you'll see somebody you haven't seen in a long time, or like there's so many Y, like XY choices that you can make every day, and most people don't even think about them because they make the same ones every day. So just change them.
Right. And so can I drop just a little caveat on that?
Yeah.
If you follow your heart in your choices, you will always, always, always be in the exact right place you're supposed to be.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I would also add that there's something else out there as well that will guide you, that you can trust almost as much as your heart.
What is that?
Some people call it the gut. I call it, I guess, the creator or God, or, the
intuition.
Intuition, connection with your, I don't know. Yeah, there's something else out there that can guide you as well. But yeah,
Right.
don't not listen to your heart. Jesus, like that's why it's there. That's why it's the organ in your body that produces the biggest magnetic field out of all the other organs. So like listen to it. It's the loudest thing in your body.
Amen, friend. So
well, it should be. Your mind might be, but that's what you need to fix.
You got to fix your mind to be in resonance with your heart.
Turn your mind down.
Turn it down, get it in resonance with your heart, and you will be fine.
Most people's minds are on 11. I think that's the problem.
Yeah. And they should be on like 3.
Yeah. Because I think the heart's naturally at like 6.5, 7. And, when you're in a good mood, it goes up to like 8 or 9.
Right. Well, this has been amazing, my friend.
Yeah, it's been fun.
I want to tell you when we sign off, don't go anywhere because we got a little bit of an after chat.
Okay.
But you got to drop your link in there again.
Okay, I can do that.
And if anybody who's out there who is watching this likes this stuff, go to Polly's channel. We're going to kind of coerce him into producing more content, especially some music and some art, because we need that music and art more now than we kind of did before. And we can explain why, but you guys know why. If you're here with me now, thank you. You have some semblance of humanity, number one, most important thing. State, government, number 2 or 3 or 4, and not in our wheelhouse. And so I would just say to everybody who stopped by and listened to Polly and me chat, thank you guys. You're the best.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah? Did you like it?
Yeah, I would. I would totally do it again. If you
Oh, we
like,
could do it again?
yeah, totally.
Oh.
I got lots of spare time, man. Yeah, I got lots of spare time.
Why do you have spare time? Did you win the lottery or up there or what?
No, I'm just decided not to work until October because I'm moving. So there's no point in like, there's no point in finding a job and then leaving. Like I don't know. Okay, I haven't worked since the 24th of May, and I'm happier than I've ever been in my entire life.
Is that because they shut you down?
No, it's because I'm not working.
No. I mean, when you when you stopped working the 24th of May, did they shut you down? Is that why you had to quit?
There's some other politics that went on there, but yeah, pretty much. I mean, if it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't have been able to be in the situation that I'm in now. So,
Got it.
in a way, it's like uh, COVID sort of gave me a way out of the city,
Nice.
and I didn't
Well,
even get sick.
I'm not sure if you've ever read the Bible.
I haven't read the whole thing, but I've read parts of it.
Have you read the book of Revelation?
I know the good bits.
Go back, take a quick read, and I think that like Noe's thoughts, Podum, Luna, Leslie, a lot of us are the remnant that they speak of in that. And for us to stick together, okay, Dirk, I know it's not St. James, it's not Dirk is
Oh, I see it. Yeah, no, I see it. You know what, Dirk? I heard someone say that Bible was actually an acronym, and I think it was in one of the chats that we both frequent. And the acronym was Basic Instructions Before You Leave Earth.
That's amazing. I love that.
I thought it was cool. It's not mine, though.
Cool. No, super cool. And the Council of Nicaea, and they edited the Bible, and I get it. But if there's a remnant of souls who are truthful, honest, kind, wanting to help humanity, buddy, everybody in this chat and you and I, we're in that tribe. And for us to stick together as the stuff goes nonsensical, crazy, that's, I think, for me, the reason I stream, the reason I make these things, the reason I would want to even bother. I don't think I have a great voice about truth or whatever. I started my YouTube channel because things pissed me off. And the chemtrails pissed me off, and that was my very first video. And then I started seeing stuff and things that anger me or frustrate me, I want to talk about with people who might have a clue to say, you know what? You could be right. You may be wrong, but you could be right that this is not the way it's supposed to go. And so if we're all here together and we're all just kind of sharing some time, and my friend Polly and everybody who's amazing in the chat has an idea that we have to stick together while we go through this, and that's all I could ever ask for.
I had this cool thought. Okay, so you know how you're talking about like the tribe, right? So there's like everybody in the chat. There's like in other chats as well, other channels. They all have like minds. We're all friends. We're building a sort of a family. Like it's a family. It's a tribe. It's the same thing, right? So
Right.
see, what I thought was like, you know how there's this theory that like when you die, you'd actually wake up, and you're like,
Okay.
whoa, because we got so good at dreaming that, like, you know how when you have a dream, you dream like 4 or 5 hours went by, but only in a span of 30 minutes.
Right.
Like, so what if we got so good at dreaming that you could dream a whole lifetime in 8 hours?
Sure. Yeah.
And not only that, but you could go to sleep at the same time as your tribe, and hopefully
you could all do it together.
And hopefully meet up with the people in your tribe while you're dreaming. So okay, so all these people that are in our tribe, this is what I think is going to happen. I hope. I think this is kind of like, it's maybe a bit romanticized, but whatever.
Go for it.
We're going to wake up, and like I don't know, like maybe say Luna will be like sleeping next to me in a whatever, some kind of bed that makes you dream cool, and maybe Algo's sitting on my left, and we'll all wake up at the same time, and we'll look at each other and go, "Dude, did you see me? I was that guy. I was that dude." I was like, "Yeah, that was me." Like, and then we'll freaking high five and we'll be like, "Okay, let's do it again."
Well, I will tell you, if you've ever read, and may or may not, ever read the works of Carlos Castaneda.
No, I haven't.
Oh, go get some books. Carlos Castaneda, a shaman from Mexico, who just an amazing discovery, where his basic fundamental contention is your mind is dreaming 24 hours a day. You don't know how to differentiate the sleeping mind from the reality mind, the waking mind, but your mind is experiencing this reality 24/7. And when we get to for me, when we get to connect with people who are having the same dream in the way that you said it, we're like we're dreaming this together. And if we're going to take some personal power, or we're going to take some ownership over our dream, let's dream the best dream we can. And the bullshit we're going through right now with the blow nonsense is not that. So we have to like dreamscape and throw it over.
Yeah, there's got to be a way to get under it. Like,
yes,
a lot of people say rise above it, but I think in a situation like this where there's so many people indoctrinated, there's too many people that you just can't. These people that are wearing masks that think that they're protecting themselves, they don't even know like any of the conspiracies that
what they're protecting themselves from.
Yeah, they have no idea about anything.
No.
And so they're kind of like better left
to the side. Yeah, push them to the side. You know, you're in the way.
The ones that wake up, we should definitely add them. They should be part of the family. The family should grow, but I think it needs to grow, I guess, in the way I could best describe it, metaphorically. Like mycelium, it's under the ground, but it's a huge network.
Yes.
Like the mycelium is used by the trees to communicate with each other. It's the foundation of all communication in the forest, but it's underground, 6 inches below your feet. No one notices it.
Well, and I would say that the people that resonate to you and I, or the Cat Baker Show, or the 444 channel, or Connie G's channel, or What's Her Face, I mean, we're all resonating to that thing right now, and it's almost a matter of being ready to be activated, right?
Yeah, I think timing is going to be an issue there, though, too. Like, I'm not confident that there's enough people to build up enough resistance to make a difference, to be honest. It almost seems like an easier way out is not to obviously conform to it, but continue to grow the force or the army or the waking up of people, whatever you want to call it, until it's big enough, because I don't think it's big enough yet.
No, not even close. And we know we're the minority, but so you have 2 children? Did I get that right?
No, just one.
Okay, you have a child
that I know of. Just one that I know
of. You have a child that you adore and love and are going to provide for and going to be in check of 24/7, 365, no matter what. And so if we are not there yet, you still have to do that. And I think you're going to do that to the best of your ability. And I think you're going to provide that child with the means for liberty, for freedom, for their own autonomy. And in spite of what's going on around this world, I think that is where we're at. And it's not an easy place. And it's not a throw off kind of, red, white, and blue flag bullshit thing. It's a serious thing that you have this little creature that you are responsible for, and you're going to do that best. And I can tell the people in the chat who have children or are responsible for children, I mean, this is kind of a big deal.
Well, yeah, it is a big deal. It actually, what you were just talking about there, it just reminded me because where I live, so I just went to the convenience store and I saw a couple, like, I don't know, 22, 23, maybe 25 at the oldest, probably way younger. And the girl was pregnant. And she was like probably, I don't know, 6, 7 months pregnant, like obviously pregnant. And I just thought to myself, wouldn't it, like, this might sound bad, but like, wouldn't it suck to bring a human life into this friggin' world right now? Like, how am I going to explain to that human life that, like, sorry, dude, we thought, I don't know, we thought maybe giving birth to you would save our relationship or something. I don't know what we did. We just decided to have a kid, and so here you are. And there's also like tax benefits. Like, I mean, some people move to Canada because they think they can get paid for having children. I mean, it's completely misinformed, but
Yikes.
That's kind of the attitude they have when they move here.
Well, I tell you, very few people ever think, what is my child going to go through? Because their hormones just say, we need to have sex. Right?
To my kid, I'm like, dude, sorry, I didn't know this was going to happen.
Yeah, I know. The biological function, it was stiff and she was good and we're good. And
I didn't know we were going to be in a pandemic.
Had no idea. And I apologize because I love you, but now we have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And that's the trick, right? So whatever.
That sounded like a beer.
It was.
Okay, nice. Cheers.
Cheers. Whatever faces us as a collective, as an individual, and a collective is the wrong word, but everything that faces us, we have to deal with. And I'm so thankful that you're here with me tonight now, and the chat's here with us tonight, because we're kind of paving the seeds for how we're going to fix this fucked up place. And I don't mean to be so bold, but if you look outside reality, it's pretty fucked up. And none of us want that for our children, your grandchildren, whatever. And we don't even want it for ourselves. But here we are in this nonsense, and we're going to have to navigate it. So I so hope that, Polly, I so hope that you hang with me, you hang with us, you hang with Kev Baker. I hope everybody in the chat goes to the Kev Baker show and learns something about the way Kev is, because he's spot on. He's doing it in a different way, but he's doing it great. And Polly is too. And so, amen, you guys. I mean, thank you so much for being here.
I'm really grateful to be here, Algo.
Brother?
I feel blessed that you even asked. I wasn't planning on any of this. This was totally like...
Yeah, we decided this like 5 minutes before we went on. I get it.
I didn't even know if it was going to work.
I know, and me neither, because technology, whatever. But
that's the first time I've used my mic.
Great conversation.
Yeah, it was good, man.
First time you used your mic. Come on. Yeah. You have a lot to say. You have a lot to share with people, and I would challenge you or encourage you to step up and just share it. Just
don't worry, it's coming.
Is it?
Oh, it's coming, yeah.
All right. I will be along with you for the ride.
If
not only supporting your channel, but sharing the stuff that you have to say. I will mirror, I will share, I will post. Brother, you're right there.
It's good to know you, Algo.
Yeah, you too. I am thankful. It's nice to meet you. Finally in person.
Awesome. We're gonna do this again then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And so we're gonna sign off. Polly, hang with me for a minute, but we're gonna sign off. I'm gonna end this stream. And I will tell you one more time for all you guys who are out there, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your comments and you guys being involved with us makes it worth it. So I will talk to you later. Paulie, say goodnight.
Cheers, everybody.
All right. Good night, guys.